Hello guys, my name is Akash and today I'll show you what are pivot table in Excel. But first, why do we need pivot table? If you want to generate report or get insight from your data, pivot tables can help you in that really fast. Let's say you received the data for the month of October as you can see here, and now you want to generate a product by revenue report so that you can know the which product is performing really good or which product is performing bad. Or maybe you want to generate a salesperson by revenue report so that you can know which seller is performing best. Or maybe you want to divide the revenue country wise. You can do all these and many more by using pivot table. So how to insert a pivot table? Before you insert a pivot table, we have to make sure the few things that your data is in proper format like this. First, it should be in tabular format. That is, it should have every column should have a header. There should not be any empty column or rows in the data, and there should not be any subtotals or totals in between the data. Once we check all of these things, we are good to add a pivot table. This can be done by going to the insert option and then clicking on add pivot table. But as you can see, Excel is hard coding the pivot table for the data ranging from A1, that is this column, this cell, to G28, that is this cell. It is until I have my data. But because of this, in future, if I add one extra line of data in my original database, that will not be reflected in the end report, and this can lead to misleading reports. So for this, what I prefer is I click somewhere in between the data and I click on tables, and Excel detects that my table has header, that is country data, etc. And now I click OK. If you are not very happy as I am with the formatting that Excel gives with the default table, you can click change it to none. Now what happened is this all these data has been converted to a table. Now look, if I click to insert pivot table, this adds to a table. Now due to this, if in future I add any information to this data, it will be reflected in the pivot table. I just have to refresh the pivot table. Because of this, the data can be as long as we want and we don't have to update the range of pivot table in future. But before we start adding pivot table, I would like to show you one more easy way to add a pivot table, that is recommended pivot tables. These are pretty smart options that may give you exactly what you want. For instance, here the second option gives us the sum of actual price by country, that is country wise division of revenue by product. So if I click OK, this will give us exactly what we want and a country wise distribution of our revenue. Before we go any further, if you are confused with what these options are, I'm adding an image so that you can get familiar with what these are and what will be the effect of adding a different element to all of these four quadrants. Now if you see here, this is option for tools. If you click on this tools option, there are various options present here like 2 by 2, 1 by 4, field section area, side by side. So what this does is it helps you to organize your fields area, field section and area section simultaneously. If you have more headers, you can increase the area of field section and the area section will be decreased. So I'll go back to previous settings, but this will be very useful if you have more headers, and this is why headers are important while creating pivot tables. What Excel does, it automatically detects the headers in your data and it creates a separate field for each header. So if you have more headers, you should probably go with the second option. Now if you see here, we have the sellers element in the row section and sum of list value in the value section. If you want to remove seller from rows, just hold and drag it out of the area and it will be removed. And if you want to add a country here, then hold on country and drag it down to the rows area and it will be added there. But let's say you want to know what is the seller's revenue on list price. So if you add sellers in the row section and values area, you will add a list price. So this will give you a brief revenue report of each seller. The total revenue is 8780. Now this is an option for filter. There is a filter area and it is used for filtering the data. Let's say you want to know item wise distribution of each seller, so you add In rows area you add sellers, in values you add list price, and in filters you add item. So this adds a separate section for filters. If you click here, you will see there are various items that you sell. If you click on air conditioner and press OK, then each seller's air conditioner revenue will be presented in front of you. The applications of pivot tables are very vast depending on the number of headers you have plus the need you want to generate with the data you have. So now let's say you want to know which country is demanding more discount on what product for campaigning or marketing purposes. So what we'll do is first we'll remove the average list price from the values section. Then I'll add items to the column section and discounted percentage to the values section. What this will do is it will give us a segregation of each item in a single row, and in this column we have a country-wise segregation of discounted items. Now the next step is, if you can see, there is a drop down option in the values section next to sum of discount. I'll click on that and I'll go to value field settings. Here I'll change this summarize value field by averages and I'll click OK. And now I click select the whole section and I'll right click number format. I'll change it to percentage and I'll remove the decimals. So now if you can see, this whole table now gives us a summary of which country is demanding more discount or the what discount on each product. If you noticed here, Saudi Arabia and Vietnam are discounting up to 50% of discount on product like refrigerator due to the climate, especially Saudi, and India and North America are demanding more discount on toaster. So this will be very beneficial for marketing and sales team for planning their campaign. Now as you can see, there is no section for net profit or gross profit here, and you want to derive the net profit for each country. So what we'll do is first we'll drag the country country field in the row section. Then I'll add the actual price to value section and then list price in the value section. But if you can see, the order has been disturbed and now I want actual price below the list price. As you can see, I want to present my net profit here, so I should present my list price here and actual price here. So what I'll do is I'll drag this above the actual price and it will change the allocation of the fields. So now to add the net profit, what I'll do is I'll click on the table, then I'll go to analyze and I'll click on field item and sets. I'll click on calculated fields, and here as you can see, I'll name this field as net profit, and then I'll first select the list price and insert field. Then I'll hit the minus or subtract symbol. Then I'll click on actual price and insert field. Now if I press OK, it will add the net profit, and if I add the net profit here, you can see the net profit from all the countries and total net profit. So if you see, our net profit is $747. Now you might ask, what will you do with a single piece of data? You need multiple data with multiple elements. So what we can do is we have to copy the whole table, and what we'll do is select the table, hit Ctrl plus C, click somewhere on the table, hit Ctrl plus V, and then in the format section click on auto fit column width. This will do is it will create a separate table, pivot table, and now you can remove any element from this table, keeping this table intact. So I'll remove this table, and now let's say you want to generate a sales dashboard from this table and you don't need sum of list and actual price. So first option is to drag out from this section, or you can right click here and you can see remove actual price and again remove actual price list price. So now what I'll do is I'll go to insert and I'll click on charts. Here I'll click on this pie chart. Now I don't want these headers, so what I'll do is hide all field chart and I'll click here. Now I can increase the size of this table. Okay, so now what I'll click on this, I'll copy this table and I'll paste it on a different sheet. So what this will do is it will help me to add multiple elements for my manager or even for myself to analyze at the same time. I can add various headings here like revenue by country and so on. Now we will generate a whole new dashboard which will look something like this from the data which was raw data in this tabular format with the help of pivot table.